I don't know what's in the water, but this past week I have been feeling completely drained, like exhausted to the max, not wanting to get anything done. Like my motivation has been in the gutter, and I figured I wanted to share that because you are always asking me how to get motivated and what to do when you don't feel motivated. And that has been me this week. And it has been really rough. Like, literally, all I want to do is get up in the morning and go sit back down on the couch. Like, I have not wanted to do anything. But obviously, as mama four, that is just not real life. I cannot just sit around doing nothing all day. There's still dishes that have to be cleaned. Kids have school and after school stuff, and there's just a million and one things that have to get done. So on this day, I was determined to catch up on some of these tasks that I haven't wanted to do for a while now. And usually when I clean, I am like very organized, one room at a time, go through it. And the issue with that on days that I am not feeling motivated is like here in the bathroom, I have been needing to touch up the trim paint in here for a while now. And on a regular week, I would completely clean the bathroom and then come in here and do this trim paint. But today I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to focus on these key tasks that I want to get done and work my way through the house. Not worrying about making sure everything's perfect, but working down my list. Not getting distracted, one step at a time. I will say though, I always love fresh trim paint. I always have trim paint on hand because with animals and kids, these are always getting knocked up and dirty and scratched and scuffed, and there is nothing better than a nice fresh coat over things. It just makes everything feel so much better. This door especially has been getting worn. So you guys know I love our massive laundry basket. However, it often will scuff the door when I'm pulling it in and out of the closet if I'm not careful with it. And those little scuff marks and everything has been driving me crazy. So that's why I figured I'd get in here, just do a quick, simple coat. And that's why I like having things like this just on hand. And it didn't take me that long. This is something I've been putting off, and it probably took me no more than 15 minutes to just do a little touch-up coat on the entire bathroom. I feel like motivation is one of those things that it very much varies from person to person. What motivates me may not motivate you, but I do like sharing what gets me up and going. I have learned my biggest struggle, and you may struggle with this also, is just getting started. Like if I sit down, the hardest part is just standing up. Once I get going, I'm usually pretty good on a project, especially if I'm picking a project that gives me instant gratification, like doing something like painting the baseboards. I'm instantly seeing the progress and it looking nicer, and that'll motivate me. But on some days, I have to set timers because even that doesn't keep me motivated. So on this day, I was just focusing on projects. My kitchen is another area that I need to do daily. It needs to be done multiple times a day, realistically, because there's just always stuff everywhere that needs to get done. Dishes that need to get done between breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's just always a hot mess. But the big thing on this day was my refrigerator. I have been wanting to get into my refrigerator. I had a boatload of leftovers, which I am still working through my leftovers. We had family dinner, and I swear, our Sunday family dinners, we always make way too much food, and there's always an abundance of leftovers. So we have been working through that. But with that, I noticed, okay, the refrigerator is just getting overboard. I have, over the past about year or so, really been working on not overloading our refrigerator. I used to be the type of person that like your refrigerator had to look stocked and full, but I was finding that stuff was going bad so much more that I didn't want to have it completely stocked all the time. So I have been trying more and more of not overstocking the refrigerator, doing like one or two fruits at a time that the kids are really enjoying, one or two fresh vegetables at a time that the kids are really enjoying, and that has been helping a ton. We're actually going through our fresh produce better without things going bad. My kids especially are the type that they'll be like in the mood for bananas and they'll go through 2 bunches of bananas a day for like 2 weeks straight. Same with apples or strawberries or any of them. But once they are not in the mood, they won't eat it, like at all. So I don't like keeping a lot of things because they are definitely the type that they get like fixated on one thing at a time. So it has made a huge difference. And then these windows are also bugging me. So these windows are the ones in our dog room. And during most of the day, they look really, really clean. But come like later in the day as the sun is setting and it's shining perfectly through these windows, you can see all the dust and buildup and everything. And it has been driving me crazy, but you guys know me. I am not a like nighttime cleaner. And that later in the afternoon is usually when my motivation to get stuff done has dwindled. Like I may still do little stuff around the house, but things like cleaning these windows, stuff like that, like I'll see them and be like, oh, I'll deal with it tomorrow. And I have been saying I'll deal with it tomorrow for a good like month now. Honest truth. I see it. I'm like, oh, I really need to do that. I'll do it tomorrow. And it just keeps getting pushed off and pushed off. And that is why I really needed this day of just like, okay, here's my list. Here's the things that need to get done. I'm not going to overwork by making sure everything is perfect because I can be that type where I'm like, okay, I have to do it top to bottom. Got to follow the rules. Are you a rule follower? Because if you are probably like me. And that is often why I push things off because I'm like, I want to work in the room top to bottom. That way everything makes sense. But then by the time I get to what I actually want to get done, I'm exhausted or I don't get anything else done on the day. So today was not about a perfection day. Today was just about tackling that to-do list, not overworking myself, and giving myself grace that, all right, I didn't dust off the ledge by the window and the plants over there, which definitely needed to get dusted off and everything, but I got the window done. And that right there is a huge accomplishment. So it's funny, we took Bailey's cage out of our shed when we had our house listed for sale, but as a lot of you guys know, if you're new here, you may know, we had our house listed for sale. It did not end up selling, and the house we wanted did end up selling, and with the holidays coming off, we took it off the market because we really have no need to sell. We just found a house we really liked, and we're like, well, if we can make this work, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, not. And with the holidays, we took it off the market. But we brought this kennel inside because Bailey, he's a big boy, and he's 6 years old, which for a St. Bernard is getting up there in age. So when we had showings, he would be in his kennel. But usually we just kept his kennel in the shed out back. But he has been loving that thing so much that is why the kennel is still in the house. Is we just leave it open at all times and he'll just go in there randomly throughout the day for his own like safe space, quiet space. So it is still out here, and I don't know if we're going to end up putting it away because he's really just been enjoying having it in the house, which I find funny because you never know with dogs. Like, some dogs absolutely love their kennels and some dogs not so much. He definitely has. Oh, but talking about kids that like go through phases, currently my kids' phase is cookies. They have been going through cookies like none other. So I, in the past week, have made a batch of snickerdoodles. Those lasted about 3 days. And just the other day, I made chocolate chip cookies. Those, I think we currently have 4 of them left. And I made that about 3 days ago. Yeah, that is their current obsession, is all the cookies. But it doesn't bother me too much. I do enjoy baking and doing stuff like that, but I was teasing them. I'm like, holy cow, I make about, I don't even know how many dozen gets made. It's at least 2, if not 3 dozen per batch of cookies that I make. And, oh, and on top of that, I say kids, Bobby also has a major sweet tooth. So he also is wrapped in with when I say children because he's definitely been munching on the cookies as well. But cookies have been on their like must-have treats in the house lately. So I feel like they're just preparing me for the holiday baking that is soon to erupt in our house. I'm actually currently been like making mental notes of the holiday baking I want to do. This year we have Christmas for our holiday. We rotate holidays every single year. So last year we did Thanksgiving. And the year before that, we did New Year's. So this year, we have Christmas. And my aunt and my mom have the 2 other holidays. So I need to start thinking about Christmas cookies as well as what we're going to be doing for Christmas dinner. I also have to look at the calendar because I don't know what day Christmas lands on. We normally celebrate the holiday on whatever Sunday is by the holiday. Or on the holiday. It really just depends. I know when it comes to Christmas, I always request that we don't go to other people's houses on Christmas, but since we're hosting this year, we may do it on Christmas Day. And we only request that because with having small kids, we're the only ones with small kids. My aunt and uncle are in their 60s and 70s. My parents are in their 60s. So they don't have small children. And I really like being able to just let the kids enjoy their holiday at home, get to open their gifts, enjoy their gifts, everything like that. But yeah, all the things that are running through my brain, I think that's partially why I've been absolutely exhausted lately, is even though like we have some time before Christmas, this time of year is just so hectic with all of the holidays of Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. And right before that, we just had all of the kids' birthdays and everything. So it just feels like so much that I feel like my brain is just on overboard. And actually, even today was just like, I have not done much in the house today. I need to get stuff done, but honestly, I'm probably going to push it to tomorrow. I left this morning at 7:15 to take Bjorn and Freya to school. And I ended up not getting home till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I had to go to the dealership to get my oil change. Found out that I also had a recall on my car, so that ended up taking longer. I had to go to the doctor's office, run some other errands, and literally I got home and I'm like, okay, was planning on doing much more today, but that might get pushed to tomorrow. Yeah. I think this mama needs a break. I think I need to go on a weekend girls trip for myself. But at the same time, I know I say that, and let me know if you can relate. I say this all the time, but I would never do well going to a hotel for a weekend by myself or on a girls trip because I would constantly be wondering about what's going on at home. Or I would do the whole well, this would be more fun if Bobby was here, or this would be more fun if I had the kids. It always sounds better in my mind than when I actually do stuff like that, and then I miss the kids and my family and stuff like that. So I say it, but it probably will never happen. I do take self-care, though, very, very important. I definitely think you should take self-care really important also. And when it comes to getting quiet time in the hot tub, the kids have their bedtimes, and it isn't so much that I feel like they have to be in bed at a certain time. The boys, they're pretty good at making sure they're in bed at a certain time. Actually, this year we've been experimenting with Xander. Xander is our 13-year-old, and we have like a time that we want them in their rooms, quieting down and everything. But Xander's a very responsible 13-year-old. He is in the gifted program at his school, getting straight A's. And I told Bobby, I'm like, we really need to give him some freedom. And I feel like it's the hardest with your oldest to start letting go and giving him those freedoms. And Bobby has been struggling also. He's like, well, I still think that he needs to be bed at a certain time. I'm like, yes, but if he is doing well in school, he gets himself up in the morning, ready, bikes himself to school. I'm like, he's getting up on time and getting to school. He's still getting straight A's. Like, there really is no reason that we have to overly enforce a bedtime for him. So we have been like experimenting with that. I have not been on his case about getting to bed for the most part. The other day I did go and get a glass of water, and it was like midnight and he was still on his computer. I was like, hey bro, it's midnight. We really should start winding down. But I'm trying to pull back. I would love advice from any of you that have older kids, because this is definitely a new adventure for us, the teenage years. But I don't want to be a like overbearing helicopter parent, but obviously you don't want to like not overbear enough. I would love all the tips and tricks. Like I said, he is a great kid. He is very respectful, very mature for his age. He's in all advanced classes at school and still getting straight A's. So behavioral wise, he has zero issues, and I want to definitely give him that independence. I also think it's really important to give kids that independence. I want him to be a successful adult and be confident in who he is, and I think a lot of that independence creates confidence in our children. So any advice from you guys, I will definitely take it. Also, I know many of you with kids and pets can relate to the under the couch messes that always are. So I knew I needed to get in here and give this a good vacuum, because between dog hair and crumbs, it was everywhere. It was a little bit difficult doing this because Athena was climbing on me while I was doing it. That's just mom life here. She's constantly climbing on me. But I love every couple of months getting in here and actually using the steam cleaner on the sofas, because it gets it so clean. Especially the right seat on that love seat couch. Bailey every morning will go and sit specifically on that seat, and he sits like a human being. Like, he doesn't curl up in a ball on the couch like most dogs. Like, he literally goes over there and plops his butt down and will have all four of his paws on the floor but sitting on the couch. It's silly looking, but he's so big that he can do that. So that seat gets a little extra dirty from him just like scratching over there or cleaning himself or whatever. And this steam cleaner I'm always actually shocked at what my couches look like for real once they've been cleaned, because they slowly get dirty over time and you don't even realize how dirty they actually are till you give a good thorough cleaning. I will say, though, if today is one of those days where you're just not motivated to clean, I would highly recommend, if you're like, I need to get something done, but don't really, what's one thing that'll make a huge difference in getting stuff clean? I'm going to challenge you to just declutter, and that can be just going around and picking up trash, getting rid of obvious donation stuff, but decluttering is the one thing you can do that if you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start with cleaning, start decluttering. Because over time, that is what made the biggest difference. I got married at a very young age. I was 19 years old when I got married. We had Xander, our first son, when I was 21. And I have not always been this organized and figured out when it came to cleaning. It definitely took me a long time. And when I worked outside of the house, I feel like that's where things really switched, because when I worked outside the house, I would spend those videos that say Sunday resets. I would do that. And it seemed a lot easier back then because the house would be cleaned. I would go to work. Bobby would go to work. Xander was at my in-laws' house for the most part. We also had a in-home daycare that we took him to, but no one was home to make a mess. So back in 2018, when Bobby got deployed, I had to quit my job because we couldn't afford, childcare based off of what I was making just did not make sense. And I became a stay-at-home mom. I was trying to figure out this whole stay-at-home mom life, how to actually maintain a clean house, because the house was always constantly getting messy and dirty, and I felt like I was doing the same things over and over again. But once I started decluttering, massive difference, because I didn't have as much to maintain, so it made the actual cleaning process so much easier. And there's always going to be certain things, at least in my life. I am not a minimalist by any means, and I don't believe I ever will be a minimalist, but by minimalizing what I have, it makes life so much easier. There's certain things that we're always going to have a lot of. Obviously, I like decor. So my house is going to be decorated and stuff. My kids have toys, especially the girls. The girls are at the age of toys. Their room is constantly a mess. And oh my goodness, Athena, my 1-year-old, is definitely my messiest child I have ever had. She is the child. Actually, Bobby was just telling me today how I was gone, and we have to keep a closer eye on Athena because she has now figured out how to open cabinets and likes pulling things out of cabinets. I have never had a child do that before. She is the first. So we're going to have to start keeping a closer eye on all of those things. But there's certain things that just going to get messy all the time. The girls' room, I could clean this room probably 5 times a day, because anytime Athena is in here, and the girls love playing in their room, even Athena, we always have their door open, and she will just wander the house. She'll play in the family room for a little bit, and then she'll crawl into her room, watch Mickey, and play in her room. But her idea of playing is, let's pull everything out and throw it all over the floor. So it's constantly a mess. So when I started staying home, and I was used to, clean, it pretty much stays clean because no one was home to make a mess, except for we came home, we made dinner, we went to bed. It was fairly simple. It took me time to really figure out a routine, really figure out what made it easier to maintain, because I don't want to clean all day, every day. I enjoy spending time with my kids and husband, and I just wouldn't be able to do that as much if I was cleaning all the time. So figuring out those routines was so important, and it's why I always push to you guys, and you guys are probably sick of hearing it, and it's getting obnoxious, but declutter. Just get rid of the stuff you don't need, you don't want, downsize, and it may take you a while. It took me years to really figure out, what do I need? What do I don't need? What do I love and I'm going to keep just because I love it? And what is stuff that's just kind of here to be here and isn't really necessary? But as I've gotten rid of this stuff, it just makes life so much easier. I come in the kids' bathroom. I love my decor, but otherwise everything is kept in the drawers, organized, and we teach the kids that you use it, you put it away. We don't keep things stacked on counters, and it just makes the actual cleaning process so much easier.
try to break it down and build again. Yeah, every time we try to make up for something lost, you know.
Another big thing about getting motivated and staying motivated for me is keeping my mind off of what I am doing. And I do this a couple ways. Sometimes it's just by having something on the TV in the background. So if it's YouTube watching another creator, I love doing stuff like that, especially when I'm not feeling motivated. If I can turn on one of the girls that I love to watch one of their videos, and then I just let it play and I get up and do stuff, that always motivates me. The other thing is listening to music. I will often either turn on 90s country. I am definitely a 90s country girl. Or lately I have been loving turning on Josiah Queen. Love his music. And it always just gives me like a boost of energy to get going. Or some sort of podcast. Put an earbud in my ear, listen to a podcast or an audible or something like that. Something that gets my brain thinking about something other than what my body is doing. And I feel like the biggest thing is it just helps the time fly. And because none of these tasks ever take that long, it's like, especially if it's a video thing, if it's a video that's on the TV or an audiobook that's in my ear, and I'd be like, okay, once this is over, I can be done. I'm always surprised at how much, though, I can actually get done in such a short amount of time and not doing it all at once. Now, I will say you have to figure out the type of person you are, because I have friends that I've talked to about this, and I have some friends that are like, yeah, I'll do like 5 minutes, sit down and take a 30-minute break, and then get up and do another 5 to 10 minutes here. And that's how I am. I'm the type that I get this done throughout the day. It's usually anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes at a time. And then I will like reward myself by being able to watch one episode of Once Upon a Time or something else. Usually I try and pick something that's less than an hour long episode-wise, but I like to be able to like reward myself with little wins, because I think it's important to reward yourself with those little wins in whatever way you find is helpful. But I also have friends that are like, oh no, if I sit down, you are not getting me back up. And that's when I think it's important to like set those timers. Give yourself 1 hour, 30 minutes, and bust it out. Like literally just bust it out. Oh, also, I was so mad at this point. I was just trying to tidy up all the kids' rooms so I could send the robot vacuum into all of these rooms while they were out and about. And I'm pretty sure Minnie peed in Xander's Crocs that were under his bed. She has never done this before. And actually, I don't think she's ever even had an accident in his room before. I think she was mad that he, the day before, had his fall concert, so he wasn't home for long. And then this day he was at school again. And she definitely is the type that like will get feisty if she gets angry. And I think she did it to punish him. But I didn't realize, so I picked up the Crocs with the plan of just like throwing them in his closet so that the robot vacuum didn't have anything on the floor. Oh, and the pee just went everywhere. I was so angry. I'm like, are you kidding me? Some not so kid-friendly language came out of my mouth because yeah, it was gross. So needless to say, his room got a little bit more of a cleaning. I made sure to get in here and give a thorough shampooing of his rug and getting all that cleaned up. But yeah, I was not very happy. I laughed afterwards, and when Xander got home from school, I definitely let him know because I'm like, guess what your dog did? We always say Minnie is his dog or my dog because Bailey will choose to be around Bobby. If he has to choose, like if I go to bed and Bobby is still watching the football game or something out in the family room, Bailey will be in the family room with Bobby. However, Minnie will either be in the room with me or in Xander's room. When it comes to Xander and I think we are about equal on the love scale of her, but she will definitely choose Xander or I every single day. So yeah, I definitely let him. I'm like, just so you know, your dog peed in your Crocs. And I ended up, because he got home and he like had a weird look on his face, and I had forgotten that I had moved his bed to do that shampooing. I'm like, oh, yeah, I had to move your bed so I could shampoo your rug because your dog peed in your Crocs. That's just real life here, though. Like, sometimes you clean up dog pee. That is just the way it is. Luckily, our dogs don't usually do that. That is definitely not a normal occurrence in our house, but it is an occurrence. And I feel like as a mom in general, there are certain things that just don't bother you the same way as they might have in the past. And things like that, I just have learned to live with. I have had so many things happen to me over the years of being a pet mom and human mom that our tolerance just, I think, is outmatched when it comes to anyone else. And if you have kids, you understand. Like, the things I have gone through and seen, there's not much that'll surprise me nowadays.
We're never letting go. This time we can reach the sky. On a prayer we go higher than high. Yeah, wide awake, it's a big mistake, 'cause it's something we can deny. And with a love like this, we'll never fall. All of a sudden you'll be standing there with someone new, 'cause it's been going so wrong for so long. Let's keep this dream alive, the art of letting go. 'Cause every time we try to
I will say, though, if I am ever feeling like really don't want to do anything that day, as long as my bedroom is tidied up and I don't have to do everything. Literally, if I make my bed and set the robot vacuum in there and then just making sure the bathroom is tidied up and the kitchen, that to me makes the biggest difference in the world. If I don't touch the dining room, touch the kids' rooms, touch the family room, but I have tidied up our bedroom and tidied up the kitchen, those are the two rooms that make the biggest impact when it comes to like my mental health and feeling calm. And I think it's really important for you to figure out what those spaces are in your house. I know there are some people that could care less about their bedroom. They're like, yeah, I don't need to make my bed every day. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. But I do think you should figure out what those areas that make the biggest impact for you and your mental health. Like, okay, the rest of the house could be a disaster, but as long as the kitchen is clean, I feel at peace. As long as the family room's clean, I feel at peace. And for each one of us, it's going to be different areas. Like I said, for me, it's my bedroom and the kitchen. As long as they are tidied up, that puts me at peace and makes my life feel so much better. So even on the days when I am like feeling the least amount of motivation, I try and push through to at least get those two areas done in my house, because otherwise the next day I notice I am still not motivated to get anything done. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.